I was once asked to mediate between two tribes that were at war in northern Nigeria. In 1 year, a quarter of the population had been killed. It wasn't easy for my associate to get everybody in a room together. There had been so much violence between the two sides. To get the chiefs together was a major effort on my colleague's part. But he was successful, and now I'm in a room with 12 chiefs from one side and 12 chiefs from the other. And I asked them this question. I said, let's begin by getting clear what everyone's needs are that aren't getting met. I'm confident that when we get clear about the needs that aren't being met, we'll find a way to get everybody's needs met. So who would like to start? What needs of yours are not getting met? A chief from the Christian tribe screamed across the table, "You people are murderers!" Immediately a response came back, "You people have been trying to dominate us." This is sadly what I see going on in almost every conflict that I'm asked to mediate in. Instead of knowing how to say what's alive in themselves, people only know how to express these judgments. So my job in that case is to translate their judgments into their needs and help the other side see the need and leave off the enemy images. So when the chief said, "You people are murderers," I said, "Chief, are you saying that your need for security isn't being met in this situation?" And he looked at me and he said, "That's exactly what I'm saying." Well, of course, he didn't say that. He probably hadn't been trained to think in terms of needs. But needs, I think, are always a more truthful expression of what's alive in people than these judgments of others that we've been trained to make. So having got his need for safety clear, I turned to a chief from the other side of the table and said, "Would somebody from this side just repeat back the chief's needs so I'm sure we're all connecting?" And the person who responded said, "Then why did you kill my child?" Well, of course, with such tension between the two sides, it wasn't easy for me to help the other party to hear the first party's needs. But finally he heard that the other person had a need for safety. Then I helped the other side translate their judgment of, "You have been trying to dominate us," into their needs. And I said to that chief, "Are you saying you have a need for equality that isn't being met in this situation?" And he said, "That's exactly what I'm saying." And I helped the other side to hear that. Now, to get that far, to get both sides to see that the needs involved on the one hand were safety, a need for equality. There were some others, but it took us well over an hour and a half just to get the first two needs expressed, just to get them both to see that the need for safety and equality were involved in this conflict. At that point, a chief that hadn't spoken yet said to me in a very animated way, "If we know how to communicate this way, we don't have to kill each other."